Today, we're gonna talk about this thing. This thing.
You're everything that I could want. Make me feel so beautiful. I've been waiting for so long. Can't seem to get you off my mind. Feel like I'm living in a dream. When you get so close to me, you're the antidote I need to feel like I'm in paradise. We won't leave heaven till dawn. We won't leave heaven till dawn.
What's up, Andrew here. Welcome back to another episode in this channel. Today, I'm just gonna talk about something slightly different. I'm gonna talk about this camera. So if you are a Lumix shooter, you should know that Lumix has already come up with upgraded series of the G85, which is the G95. But I just want to throw it in to ask, is the G85 still relevant in 2019? Because as I've seen in some of the forums that I've been following, they have been asking if I'm a newbie, if I'm a starter, what kind of camera should I get into? What kind of kit should I buy? Should I get the latest mirrorless that is in the market, or should I just get the older models because of the budget range that I have? And yeah, just based on my experience, I just want to share how this camera works for me, even though I bought it in the middle of 2018, and I've been using it up until today before I switch into a full frame mirrorless for another brand. But yeah, that's another story to tell. But today, let's just hop into specs of this camera. So the G85 is a 16 megapixel shooter. It can shoot 4K of 24 frames and 30 frames, and for 1080p it can shoot up to 60 frames. So you can pretty much do 3 times slow motion for this one. It's not as good as some of the modern cameras which offer 120p, but I don't really think that you need slow motion every time. So along the way, you just have to make good with what you have. Yeah, aside from that, this camera, it's quite light in form factor. I like the, if you can see, I like the grip because it just feels very nice. 2 dials, front and back, to adjust your shutter speed and also your aperture. You can set it on the settings that you want. A mode switcher from a burst shot, single shot, and then your movie, your profile, manual profile, shutter focus, aperture focus. Then you can customize. There's two profiles that you can customize, C1, C2. So it's pretty much a versatile camera. And aside from that, it has a flip screen. Yeah. So for you vloggers out there, if you want some camera that can help you to do better vlogging, what I'm doing right now, yeah, this is the camera that you can consider into. Yeah. But of course, this camera is a micro four thirds camera, so it's a crop sensor. What do you mean by crop sensor? For micro four thirds, let's say if you have a lens, which I have now is 12 to 35 millimeter, so you need to times the value of the lens by 2, which makes it a 2470 equivalent focal length. Of course, when you're shooting on a crop sensor, there will be some issues on the exposure and also the ISO. You can't really punch it that high, but overall, it's still a very decent device. So let's talk about the practicality of this camera. In terms of photography, a 16 megapixel shooter can do tremendous work. If you haven't followed my Instagram, you can check it on the links down below. Just head over there and visit it. and I've been doing this daily post where I go out and take a picture and post every single day for 100 days. I'm around day 74 as I'm recording this. So yeah, from day 1 to day 50, all the photos are taken by this amazing G85. As you can see on the picture quality, the clarity is there, there's this detail, and it's just very nice. Aside from that, I've used this camera to do a lot of projects like for portraits, weddings, and events. And yeah, these are some of the photos that I've taken. I've never thought that this camera can do so many things at the beginning, because I've not been into photography after a very long time, and when I got back into it, I didn't have the budget. So I was thinking of something cheap and affordable that I can shoot videos and also like do photography. And little did I know, the things that I've shot and the projects that I've taken using this camera, there are quite a few that I was really happy about it. So moving on, when we talk about video capabilities, for this camera, it shoots 4K. That's all I would say. It shoots 4K, and the quality is very good. Yeah, if you have seen one of the wedding videos that I've uploaded on Facebook, it's all done using this particular camera and also a DJI gimbal as a stabilizer for fast movement and all that. And oh yeah, Diana mentioned this, that this camera has an in-body stabilization, so even if you don't have a optical stabilization lens, you can still pretty much shoot your videos and your photos in a very stable way. So this is a pretty compact camera, if you ask me, in my opinion. Yeah. And as for videos, all my vlogs and tutorials up to date, except for the past 3 videos, I think, which I began shooting on the EOS R because I was experimenting whether should I shoot on the native video format or should I shoot on log. I'm still learning on how to use the EOS R better. But aside from that, all the videos that I've done previously is all done in this camera alone. Yeah, it doesn't have a log file like other pro cameras have, but the color quality is still very decent. Yeah, you might need to do some touch up when you go into Premiere Pro just to lighten up the skin tone and also change certain colors that help you to fit the storytelling narrative better. But other than that, this camera is really solid in taking videos. So you might be wondering, why am I talking about this camera if this is not the latest camera, and yeah, definitely it's not a hot camera in the line. Why am I talking this right now? Like, why am I giving this personal preference review right now? Well, basically it's because things I've said just now, I've seen a lot of people asking like, what camera should you start with and what do you do with it. Personally, I just think that you can start with a lot of cameras. Start with the ones that's fitting with your budget, which is the latest models, or you can start with older models like this. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's not really about the tools that you have. Yeah, it's all about the way you learn how to make creative content, like the way you shoot the videos, the script that you write. Yeah. So is this still relevant? I say yes. See, I can never stress this enough. Like when it comes to tools, especially like cameras and all that, there's just a lot of debate about like if I were to do this, I need this camera. If I were to do that, I need that camera. And that's right, because certain professional projects that you pick up on, you really need the professional tools to get it done. But if you are starting out and you're experimenting, whether should I be a YouTuber, whether should I be a vlogger, whether should I be a video maker, whether should I be a photographer, you might not have the right budget to jump into like a very good product. Like for instance, like this EOS R took me like a whole year since the launch date before I could save up enough money to get it, and it wasn't easy. Yeah, to be honest, it was tough because I don't really make that much money in doing like photography and cinematography yet because I just started. So I'm using the budget that I've saved through my previous work to fund this, and it has been a good learning experience despite all the temptations that I have in wanting to buy better gear. So if it's not the two, then what are the most important lessons when you want to start like doing something this I would say like heavy tool dependent kind of job or career? Yeah, I would say it's the basic skills. As of recent, I've been mentoring like a few like people that is interested in photography, and I realized that all of them have this same thought that this gear is nice, if only I had that lens, if only I have this, if only I have that, then I can make it better. Of course, at the end of the day, the idea is like if you have those things, that's the best. Like for me, I can tell you that there's so many things that I want to buy, like better lighting, better sound equipment, better camera lens, although like this RF 24-105 is really good. There's still things that makes you want to invest more to get more, but that's not how it works. Like you need to know how to generate profit from this device before like thinking about investing on the next one. If not, it's gonna be a rabbit hole and you're gonna like just keep jumping into it, spend money on it, and at the end of the day you don't gain anything from it. Yeah. So I know that this is like a no-brainer for many of the people, but I just want to put it here again. The most important thing, if you want to do something like photography or cinematography related, you really need to understand the basics. First, it's like your shutter speed, your aperture, and also the ISO. Understanding these three helps you to capture the photos differently, and also like the way you hold your camera from different angles, different perspective. Like these are the things that you can do with all kinds of camera. Like you don't need the best in the line to do it. In fact, like I started off by using just an iPhone 8, yeah, an iPhone 7, or like even way before I got a camera of my own. So yeah, it's all about learning how to maneuver through and pick up the skills that you need before you get the right tool to handle it. Yeah. And in terms of like, if you want to start this and you have all the tools and equipments that you have, how are you going to start it? Well, I can share some of the ideas to you right now. What I did was, I started my Facebook page, and then I revamped my Instagram page to a business profile. And then what I did was I started my own website on Squarespace because I don't know much about programming. So that website, it's very user friendly, and I just do what I have to do to set up my web page there, and I registered a company. And then next thing is I start approaching people. Yeah, you have to start approaching people. Building a business, it's not just about setting up everything and wait for the person to come in and say, hey, I want to work with you. I want to hire you as a photographer. I want to hire you as a cinematographer. Now, it doesn't work that way. You have to go out. You have to be proactive to look for clients, and that's pretty much what I did. Start sending out portfolios. I created portfolios on a PDF file, send it to clients. I have hard copies which I send it to other people as well. I'm gonna do a video about how can you create a good portfolio for the clients, maybe in the future, short future, hopefully. But yeah, this is all the things that I've done aside from just wanting to have the best gear to do the right thing. And it's a slow start, but all business is a slow start. No, not everyone gets the opportunity. It was like, bam, you get it. Like when I started my creative firm, I started to write every single day for non-stop, and by the end of like the third month I have like 40 to 50 articles lying there in my blog archive, and that's when only people start noticing me, and that's how I kickstart my creative career. And as I'm starting back a new direction of being a photographer and being a video maker, this is the same thing that I'm going through. Just hardcore grinding every single day to create more and more content, and also create ways to increase traction and interaction. Yeah. So yeah, aside from just wanting to share like is this relevant, it's also an excuse for me to bring out a topic that says that, you know, you don't always need the best tool in the market, because technology is ever like advancing. Like the recent iPhone 11 Pro that just launched, I mean, such a huge difference in the camera system from the iPhone 10 to the iPhone 11. I mean, do I want it? Yes. Can I afford it? Maybe. But do I need to buy it now? I think I can do well with two cameras that I have now. I don't need like an iPhone to help me to vlog or something like that, because I have the tools already, so there's no point spending on something that's redundant. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, it's not about whatever things that you have around you that dictates what you want to do in the career. But yeah, it's all about the character that you have, like the attitude that you bring on in starting all this business. Yeah. I started off the channel with 0 subscribers, and you know, without knowingly, within 6 months I got 80 plus. It's not a big amount, but I'm pretty happy about it, because there's 80 plus of you watching the video and supporting me. That means more than anything. I mean, if there's only one person that's watching it, I'm happy, because that's the purpose of me creating these things, to share it to the audience. And even there's one of you, you are the audience, and I appreciate every single one of you for doing that. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it for this week's video. It's not much of a review. Yeah, hope I didn't disappoint you. I did kind of mislead you in the title, but well, just want to find a way to just share things in my mind and my thoughts. So if you have any questions ever, like how good is this camera, like really detailed questions, you know, feel free to drop me a message on Facebook, Instagram, or just comment in YouTube. I'll reply you ASAP for sure once I see it. And aside from that, I guess it's not much for me to say. Yeah, check out my Instagram for the photo qualities that I have, or my webpage, or also like my previous episodes that uses this. Yeah, now I've been repeating it this and this again, but I just want to prove a point that, you know, you can do a lot of things without needing to have the best latest device in the market. As long as the specs is comparable and it's relevant to today's need, you can pretty much do a lot of things. Yeah.